Good evening. Welcome, everybody, to the International eLeague Series. This is week 2. We've got Charlotte Knights baseball here this evening. Thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live. The International League Series began last week. If you've been paying attention, we were playing the Norfolk Tides, the AAA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. A close series in that one, but the Knights fell to Norfolk 2-1. You can see the standings right here in the International eLeague. In the Owen division, don't ask me how these divisions have been named, by the way, but Charlotte is knotted in a 3-way tie for 5th place with a 1-2 record. Louisville and Syracuse lead the division right now with 2-1. They've opponents listed there. Louisville playing Pawtucket this week, Syracuse playing Buffalo. In the Trice division, Buffalo and Norfolk, as well as Rochester, have a 2-1 record. Durham and Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Rail Riders, are sitting at 1-2, just like we are. Maybe Norfolk and Durham can give themselves a little bit of a headache above and beyond what we experienced last week. But the standings are very close, as you can see. This is week 2. You see, tonight we are playing the IronPigs in Iron Horse Stadium. We've got a neutral ground area. You hear the clapping about one of our special guests we'll get here in a little bit. On Wednesday evening, a slight change to our schedule. Wednesday evening, we will play as the Chicago White Sox against the Philadelphia Phillies. So join us again tomorrow evening for the second game of our 3-game series. It will be a member of the Charlotte Knights front office staff competing against a member of the Lehigh Valley IronPigs front office staff. Speaking of front office staffs, let's introduce our representative from the Charlotte Knights BB&T Ballpark staff. Please welcome entertainment coordinator Nick Farmer. How's it going tonight, Nick?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ready to see if we can will the Knights to victory tonight.
Nick, you had a tough go in your last game, but you did beat a member of the Norfolk front office 16-1. What are we looking for this evening?
Trying to make it 17-1 tonight. Let's see if we can do it.
I think you can. With us on the call right now, he'll be joining us for at least an inning or two. He is the on-field host of Charlotte Knights baseball. Previously, you might have seen him at Charlotte Checkers games and other events around the Carolinas. It is JJ. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me. This is great. I was walking by my iPad. I saw this baseball game going on, so I figured I'd check it out.
It's just nice to see your face after 2 months of not seeing it. Let me tell you that. But
thank you. But it's probably a good break.
I do recognize that chair, though. It's looks comfortable. I think I remember sitting on that once or twice in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Well, tonight you're going to be the chairman of this game. We're going to move on here. Once again, the Knights playing the IronPigs for this first game. You can see the starting lineups here. Leading off for the Charlotte Knights this evening is going to be Nick Madrigal. You've got batting second, Zach Collins. Batting third, Gorgis Hernandez. He's had a history with his team, of course. Batting fourth is Daniel Polka. Then the fifth spot is A.J. Reed. Batting sixth, Nicky Delmonico. Batting seventh is Joel Booker. Batting eighth is Camilo Quintero. And batting ninth is Laz Rivera, who, if you remember from our last broadcast, Laz Rivera had a nice debut with the AAA team on Thursday. Now, on the mound this evening, we have Mike Kopech, who spent most of the 2019 season on the injured list with a torn UCL. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery here in 2020. We've got an opportunity now to see him get some revenge after a tough outing on the mound last time against the Norfolk Tides. JJ, do you recall watching a few games with Mike Kopech once he was in Charlotte?
I absolutely do. Whip of an arm there.
What were some of your favorite memories, if you recall, not just from Kopech, but maybe from the Knights season in 2019 that you're looking forward to again in 2020?
Simply just getting all the fans in front of me again. That's kind of, I probably cheated with that answer, but that's what I'm looking forward to, is seeing all those kids again in their baseball uniforms.
Absolutely. I can appreciate that. We're looking forward to seeing all of our fans very soon here in 2020. Let's move forward here to the game this evening. Now, JJ, I don't know if you know this or not, but Nick is quite a talented player on MLB
absolutely.
The Show.
Yeah.
He's the 16-1 drubbing. And if you caught that, he does not let up on hits. I think we're going to see an awful lot
Not
of
at
them
all.
this evening.
I know Nick has skills.
Absolutely. Do you play video games yourself, though, or?
Every once in a while. I'm more of an old school video gamer.
What were some of your favorite games back in the day?
Tecmo Bowl. The original Madden. What else? What's the
any
what's the
games
fighting
featuring Bartolo Colon, tonight's first pitch of the game?
Probably not. Hey, Ortho Carolina.
You can see the first pitch this evening is presented by Ortho Carolina. On the mound, big sexy Bartolo Colon throwing to our friend Jim Thome, the first Charlotte Knights player in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Colon to Thome is a strike, and that first pitch brought to you once again by Ortho Carolina.
They fixed my ankle.
Absolutely. Well, we're advancing now. Thanks for that ceremonial first pitch. Thanks to Ortho Carolina, and thanks to all of our corporate partners for helping us put on tonight's game. Now we'll pause. We hope that those of you who are viewing at home or from your computers or wherever else can rise out of your chair, remove your hats, and stand at attention as we present tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the nights that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mallory Tipton, for our national anthem.
Get it. Play ball, baby.
Thanks to Mallory Tipton for this evening's national anthem performance. Let's move on to the game now. MLB The Show 20. Once again, we are at Iron Horse Stadium. The Knights taking on the IronPigs of Lehigh Valley, the AAA affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. Beautiful ballpark here. You can see the Knights in their road grays. They are excited for this one. And Michael Kopech will take the mound for the Knights this evening. Kopech had a pretty solid outing his last time up. But on the mound now you see Aniel De Los Santos getting the start for the Lehigh Valley IronPigs. De Los Santos has pitched the last 2 seasons with the IronPigs, an ERA north of 4 in both of those campaigns. He made his major league debut a couple years ago in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. He also spent some time in the Texas League with San Antonio. Nick Madrigal leading it off here for the Knights. Here's your first pitch. Takes a curveball for strike one. Now, JJ, with a lot of experience you've had with different teams, you actually were an MC with the Winston-Salem Dash for quite a while before you joined the Knights. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Like 10 years, 10 seasons.
10 seasons. There's a base hit up the middle from Madrigal off the leg of the center fielder. That could mean extras. Nope, Madrigal's going to stay.
Keep it at first.
Got some conservative play coming out of Nick this evening. You'll see the instant replay here. Just Madrigal is one of those guys. He's very heavy on contact. You're not going to see him strike out a lot. Loves to put the ball on the ground and let his legs do the talking for him. Leading off this game with a base hit. Probably just like last game, if I remember right. That grounder sits to the first baseman. He's over to the shortstop at second. They try to turn the double play, but they cannot make it in time. And Zach Collins showing some wheels there, surprisingly, to get to first base to break up that double play. There's one out now, a man on first. Now, here's Gorgis Hernandez. Hernandez has spent some time in a number of organizations. He played with the Knights on our inaugural season team in 2014 as he ropes a base hit to the center field area once again.
Just going station to station.
Right about that. JJ, you were there in Winston-Salem for 10 years, so you're one of the few people who can say that you've had experience in both BB&T ballparks. What are some of the key differences you recall between your time with the Dash and your time with the Knights? Oh, look at that diving catch. Every time I try talking to you, we have another play to talk about on the field.
No.
This game's just full of action.
2 outs now. What an unlucky break on that pitch. Hernandez trying to get on. Well,
trying to share second base. I
have no idea what you're trying to do either. That got you into some trouble a couple games back.
No, that's not going to do it.
That will not do it. A ground out to the second baseman. Gets the out at first, and the inning is over. You got a couple hits there, Nick. 3 of them, in fact, but we're going to go down to the bottom of the first score. And we'll talk to JJ here in a second, but first we want to let you know about Knights Care for CLT. It's an initiative brought on by the Charlotte Knights and Charlotte Knights Charities in an effort to benefit those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic taking place right now. We've got a ton of shirts. Knights Care for CLT t-shirts in a dark navy and gold and white, as you see here on screen. $20 can get you one of those sweet t-shirts. You've got an opportunity with all those proceeds benefiting Knights Care for CLT to directly affect all the frontline healthcare professionals and others affected by this pandemic. To learn more, go to charlotteknights.com today. There's a fly ball hit to left center. The left fielder's underneath it to make the catch for out number 1. A lot of first pitch swings you're going to see here, JJ. But again, let's talk about your time with the Dash and with the Knights and just some of your big memories that you've had with both teams thus far.
I would probably say with the Dash, I danced around a lot more. Yeah, a lot more.
Let's see it. What you got?
A lot more sweat. Huh?
I said, let's see it. What moves you got?
Hold on a second. I'm watching this game real quick.
He takes that slider down and in for ball 2. What kind of dancing, though? Like, do you have was there a particular one on dugouts, or what were you doing?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of any fans have been to, or anyone's been to BB&T Ballpark in Winston. The Dash are known for ice cream and cake and doing the 7th inning stretch. So we did that a lot. It's very popular down there. I think they still do it, actually.
Oh, okay. You go from one 7th inning stretch tradition to another. Kopech issuing a walk there.
Absolutely.
So what if you had to pick between the two ballparks? I mean, obviously we know which ones are going to be your favorite, who your favorite boss is, by the way. But if you had maybe a quick don't play with me now emotionally.
Sorry.
If you had to pick your top 3 moments in your baseball career thus far, we're talking now more than 12 years at this point, right?
Top 3 moments?
Yeah, if you had to choose, what would they be?
What's the big trophy that one single A the Dash win? What's the name of the trophy?
Championship.
I forget what it is.
The championship trophy, correct? Yes.
Well,
that's where we're gonna go.
I forget what it was. But
Circle K strikeout number 1 there.
They got a championship. They got a championship probably my 3rd year or so, and I was in the clubhouse for the champagne bath. Okay. So that was a lot of fun. So I ran in to congratulate the guys, and they all decided to grab JJ, and JJ ended up
how could they not, right?
Bud Light on his head. So, yeah.
As Delmonico leads off here in the top of the second, he takes a curveball up and in, but it just paints the corner for strike 1. Now, unfortunately, we haven't had yet a chance to win a championship. That ball's a base hit down the right field line. Delmonico's got his leadoff single here in the top of the second inning. We haven't had a chance to field a championship team here in BB&T Ballpark, Charlotte.
It felt like it was coming a couple times.
It felt very, very close last year. You're right about that.
Like it was like right behind us.
Yeah, it's kind of like Homer's on the screen right now dancing to his delight. That ball lined just to the left fielder, quick out there for the first out of the inning. Delmonico's going to stay at first. Phil Booker getting a little bit unlucky on that one. Now, we have a very good squad. We've had a very good squad the last 3 years. I want to say we've had the top prospects in the White Sox organization, the top prospects in baseball as well. Matt Skoll here in the lineup. He's been with the Knights the last 2 seasons with some solid left-handed power. There's a base hit down the left field line. That's going to get at least. You guys seen doing the Skoll chant there. Very popular at BB&T Ballpark. Skoll. It's actually worked a lot more often than you think it has. But a single there puts a runner on first and second for JJ as we introduce Camilo Quintero to the plate. He hits one down to right field. That's going to get caught, however. With the second out of the inning, runners still on first and second.
Ooh, we tagged up. Runners on the corners.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
2 outs.
Don't be so not being so conservative there. I misspoke. That was Laz Rivera who just flied out to right field. That brings to the top of the order now Nick Madrigal to the plate. He's 1 for 1. Now it could be 1 for 2. The right fielder tries to field that ball, but he just misses it with the glove. He has to reach back for it. That scores the first run of the game, presented by CPI Security. They are safe at home, just like we hope each and every one of you are safe at home this evening. Go to cpisecurity.com for more details on their product line right now. You can see the Jersey Mike's instant replay on the screen of that base hit. Kind of got a weird bounce right when the right fielder was trying to field it out there, which leads to almost an error, but 1 run scores, and Nick takes a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. Zach Collins, the powerful left-handed catcher, up to bat now for the Knights. He drives one into center for another base hit. Nick is you are tallying them right now. Another one scores, and it is 2-0.
Single.
That's fine. Small ball's good. Just keep them going. There was a lot of that last game, too. I believe, 18 hits, something like that?
Yeah, we had 16 hits and only, I think, 4 runs scored. So at least we're stringing them together now.
You're right.
Good job, Nick.
It feels like a Knights game there, but 2-0 lead after the mound visit with the pitching coach. Another base hit up the middle, and the Knights just keep on coming here in the top of the second. We have first on the
five, JJ.
Once more.
Good job, Nick. Ouch. Man, that hurt, Nick. Nick has those strong hands. That's why he's so good at this. Show him your thumbs. See? Look at those thumbs. Man.
Those are some PS4 thumbs right there. Let's put it
that way.
This is
paying off.
Could that be another hit? That's not a hit, unfortunately. It's not going to work. The side is retired. We've got 3 runs scored here in the top of the second. Knights with a 3-0 lead. We head down. We got some powerful thumbs, I guess is what that 3-0 lead as the Iron Pigs come up now here in the bottom of the second. Luke Williams. It's like a creative player's name. Luke Williams now up to bat for the Iron Pigs.
Country singer.
Yeah, you're right. It could be. Very well could be. Now, JJ, do you remember the first time you and I met?
I do.
It was in 2000. I want to say, was it 2016? Through our friend Nate
2016. It was
earlier than that, maybe.
Hold on. Yeah, it was earlier than that. When did the Knights move into the ballpark?
2014 was our inaugural season on town. So
okay,
it could have been that first year.
2013 or 2012. No, it was 2013 probably.
I was just starting with the team in 13. I don't know if it could have been that early.
Well, it was 2014. That's what I said to start with.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think you're right, because Nate was still our director up in the production booth that first year. And I want to say you were at a game, and we happened to put the camera on you. I think Nate told me to have folks put the camera on you during breaks as we watched Circle K strikeout number 2 from Mike Kopech. He's having a pretty solid night of control thus far. You can see the instant replay there. That bat just finishing below that fastball. I want to say we went out to, was it Plaza Midwood after that game?
Well, first we were at Mellow Mushroom.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we somehow ended up in Plaza Midwood, maybe.
I think like quite the night.
I think we Ubered that night. It was all friendly stuff there. That ball didn't go too far in front of home plate, but that one will go into left field. A diving attempt after the ball doesn't work. That ball's going to go back to the wall in left field. That might be a triple based on the dive that just missed it. You can see here on the Jersey Mike's instant replay, the attempt to make a play on it, and that dive was just, that ball just went past the glove there. You can see some aggressive base running there. Booker runs over to the left field wall to help out. Just putting some nice lumber on that pitch, kind of hitting the top of the barrel, and he pulled it just enough to go opposite field with it. That ball is in there for a strike. One of my favorite minor league baseball names, Davey Grullon, who played, I can't remember where he played last year. I don't believe he was with the IronPigs, but that ball is hit down the third base and left field line, and we've got our first run of the game scored by the IronPigs. It is now 3-1. I should not applaud that guy's name anymore if he's going to keep doing that to me while I'm trying to talk about him. But I remember, JJ, when we were talking, we're talking about 6 years ago now, and I've got a little more gray in my face at this point, but
a lot more.
I'm gonna get you for that when we get out of the situation. But and you remember, anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not emotionally upset about it or anything like that. But
I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks. But when nobody knows if you have gray hair or not, you're pretty much shiny.
Ooh,
shiny. I think it's the camera, the flash. Circle K strikeout number 3, throwing some heat, just like I'm throwing some shade into this broadcast. Knights are up 3-1 as we head to the top of the third inning. I can remember when we were talking that we had aspirations of working together someday, and I think it might even have come up in that first conversation. And then here we are, 2018. Yeah. You joined the team. You auditioned after I basically told you, hey, we're doing auditions. Would you like to come up? And as soon as you came in there, I think our staff just took one look at you and listened to you on the mic and saw you interact, and they said, wow, we need this guy to be a Charlotte Knight.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but I had met Mark Smith at Old Knight Stadium probably a year and a half before. It was a game at Old Knight Stadium. And so I went there actually interested in the job because I knew a new ballpark was coming here. And he yelled at me and told me to get something on video. And here I am.
That actually does sound about right. And now told you to get the audition. And hey, you know what? It took a few years to get it all together, but we did it. And
here I am.
Now here we are. Yeah, exactly. That ball smacked to the right field wall. A DoubleTree double presented by the DoubleTree by Hilton Charlotte, the official host hotel of the Charlotte Knights. You can see that ball in the Jersey Mike's instant replay soaring against the right field wall, just bouncing off the bottom there. Nothing they could do about that but field it and bring it back into the infield. The DoubleTree by Hilton Charlotte, by the way, is where the little things mean everything. First double of the game. We're catching up right now, if you're just joining us, talking with JJ, the on-field host of the Charlotte Knights, as the 3-1 play gets the. Are you safe?
Yeah.
Safe? Wow. Okay, Joel.
Hey, come on now.
Yeah, I'm safe. Bit. I got CPI.
Oh, is that a shameless plug on the back wall there? Or, okay, or yeah. We'll call that a product placement. That's what it is. Yeah. See, I know how to do these things. I know how to broadcast. That fly ball going to right field is the second out of the inning, unfortunately. Actually, no. A run
and
scores.
A run crosses the plate.
Yeah. Tag it up. Makes it a 4-1 game for the Knights. JJ distracting me as I'm trying to make this broadcast work.
Speaking of distracting.
Yeah, well, yeah. Speaking of distracting, what? Go ahead.
Is Homer not distracting for the baseball players?
You know, I see him. I see him doing the Carlton like around my screen, so I can't tell half the time if it's like a virus coming on my computer. You see what's going on here? Like, I can't tell if it's just one of those like fun little viruses you used to get when you were in your GeoCities page back in the 90s. You just got the internet for the first time. Like, what is this thing? But then,
nice.
Or like if you remember the hamster dance that was popular back in the day, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, and all of a sudden you can't open your email anymore. That kind of thing. It reminds me of that, but he does the same exact dance like every time. I'm not saying it's a distraction, but I'm just saying that dude's just dragging all over my screen. Okay, runners on first and second. Knights are once again up 4-1. Now, JJ, you also do work with the hockey team in town.
Yes.
Checkers.
Yeah.
Patrick 2 for 2, by the way. He's done a great job this game. Hopefully, he'll be joining us again at the start of the 2020 season. Now, you do the Checkers. You do the Knights. Mm-hmm. You work with the NC State Wolfpack.
Yes.
Quite a busy guy. We'll actually get back to that here in a second as we finish up the top of the third inning. Knights up 4-1. Over the IronPigs here at Iron Horse Stadium. Totally a real stadium / ballpark / field. JK, it's a fake stadium. We just wanted to do a neutral site here. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Ronan Torias is up to bat for the IronPig. I'm pretty sure I butchered that guy's name, by the way. I didn't get a chance to look up any of this. 100-mile-an-hour fastball, the four-seamer coming in hot to start this one out in the bottom of the third inning. You keep busy throughout the course of this season. You've got a lot of great interaction with fans, great interaction with sports, and you're going to different venues now. How does that lifestyle change for you when baseball season ends? Are you naturally going from one sport to another, or how does your mindset change, and how does your schedule change?
Yeah, naturally going from one sport to the other. It's always good to have a weather change. And so going from the hot sun, by the time we get, to the end of the season, end of August, September, I'm ready for some indoors air conditioned type.
Some ice.
Yeah. So I'll go work on the ice for a little bit, and in the arenas with NC State. Cools down a lot. So it's a good change of pace.
Now, would you say that their shows are maybe as, I wouldn't say aggressive, but as packed with sponsorships and opportunities to interact with fans on camera as ours? Or which team is the most challenging to work for? Which one has you kind of on your feet and doing more work?
Well, they're all different. I would say NC State, I interact with the fans a lot more with mainly my voice. I don't get to actually walk around with them like I do at baseball.
Okay.
I interact a lot more with baseball, but as far as like sponsors and everything, it's about the same. NC State is a little more work, but shorter time period. So I can be given a bunch of notes and they could change right on the fly. But that's like any other jobs that can happen. But NC State can be a little more challenging. I don't know why I'm saying that just because it was my first season this past year, but
it does make a lot of sense, though, because you're dealing with different formats. And speaking of dealing, Mike Kopech is dealing now. Circle K strikeout, I believe, number 4 on the evening. That was a nice transition on my part, wasn't it? You could see Andrew McCutcheon just could not get the placement on that fastball at all as he strikes out. 4 strikeouts thus far for Kopech. He's not approaching 40 pitches yet, but Austin Listy here up for the Iron Pigs. Kopech has done a fairly good job pitching through 5 or 6 innings. JJ, unfortunately, you weren't here to watch this last game with us, but Nick had him in for the 7th. The confidence was sky high, and whether or not that played into the end of the game, you might have to go back on YouTube and watch that one. But
yeah, I said, all right, 7th inning, I should probably take him out. We'll put one more batter, and immediately the next pitch hit a go-ahead home run.
That ended up being the difference maker in that one as the Knights went down 5-4. That ball is on the line. Is it called foul?
We'll take it.
Absolutely. That fly ball to left ends the inning, and unfortunately, that will end my time with JJ here. I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. I wish I could have you all came along. I know we both have more to do, but thanks to JJ for joining us, the on-field host of the Charlotte Knights. Any message you want to give to our fans out there before you head out the video box?
Hey, thanks for having me. But all the fans, y'all stay safe out there. We got a little bit more time to go, and this whole thing should be over with, and we can finally get back together. In the meantime, stay safe. Take care of your friends. Take care of your families, and get ready to get back out to the ballpark with us.
Thanks so much, JJ. Great sentiment. I know we can't wait to see you again. This has been good. I'll give you a shout after this game's over with. But
all right.
4-1 game. Thanks again to JJ.
Thank you. All right, Nick, a.k.a. Thumbs. Peace.
We're going to call you Thumbs Farmer
JJ,
from now
thanks
on.
Again.
This is good.
Later.
See you, my friend. We've got, before this inning begins, the Salen's Grill Session, brought to you by Salen's, the official hot dog partner of the Charlotte Knights. You can see the question on the screen. On this day in 1904, this Boston Americans pitcher struck out 8 batters and recorded the first perfect game of baseball's modern era. He would later become the namesake of an award honoring the best pitcher in each league. What was his name? The first person to give us the correct answer for this question will receive a mystery past bobblehead giveaway from the Charlotte Knights. It's such a mystery, even I don't even know what the prize is. But that bobblehead, it will be yours if you're the first person to answer this question correctly. Once again, the Salen's Grill Session question presented by Salen's, the official hot dog partner of the Charlotte Knights. And once again, fans, if you haven't purchased already, we've got T-shirts available now for Knights Care for CLT, the initiative begun by Charlotte Knights Charities and the Charlotte Knights to benefit those affected by COVID-19 and the coronavirus pandemic. T-shirts are $20. Proceeds go to that cause, helping out frontline healthcare professionals, part-time game day staff, full-time staff, service industry members. .com for more information and how to get your hands on one of those sweet Knights Care for CLT t-shirts. Speaking of Knights Care for CLT and Charlotte Knights Charities, we have the Director of Community Relations joining us this evening, Megan Smithers.
Woo!
Welcome to the broadcast. How are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing fine. The Knights are in a 4-1 lead. We couldn't be in a better mood. And now to see your smiling face, it's going to be even better for us. So
I'm excited to see.
Absolutely. How are you holding up? You're up in Concord, correct?
Yes. Yes, I am. Up in Concord. Feels like ways away, but not too bad. We're hanging in there up here.
That's good. You've been with the Knights now you just had your 5th anniversary. Is that right? You joined us in 2015?
2015, right after you guys finished your first season. So I'm going into my 6th season, but 5th year.
Nice. Talk to us about your ascension in the front office, and we really tell us how you came about with your interest in communities and working with nonprofits, and how that helped shape your path to your current position.
For sure. So I actually got my start in sports up in Boston, where I'm from, with the Boston Celtics, and I worked in their fan relations department. But I was always, the reason I knew I loved community relations was I was always so jealous of what they got to do every day. They were working with nonprofits and going out in the community and getting their hands dirty. And I just really loved what they were able to do.
Sure.
So when I graduated, I was like, that's what I want to be. Moved to Charlotte with no job. Ended up getting a job. I was young and, and knew I wanted to work in sports, but when you live in Boston and are trying to get a job down here, it's hard because, as we all know, sports isn't necessarily going to pay for you to move. So I moved down here, got a job in a different industry, but was able to get my in with the Knights as their front desk receptionist. So I personally love that career choice for me just because it helped teach me the basics, teach me from the ground up. And I was able to work my way up from front desk to coordinator, helping out with the business side of things, and then now director of community relations. So it's been a long journey, but I'm excited to be here.
A long one, but quite a bit of upward mobility for you, too. I mean, just the career growth you've experienced with us alone has been tremendous, and as is the work that you do with Charlotte Knights Charities on a daily basis. You're a member of the board. You are constantly working in the community. You're doing a lot with Second Harvest Food Bank and several other nonprofits right now, if that's correct. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So obviously when this pandemic hit, it was hard for a lot of reasons because I'm used to getting my hands dirty and hosting events and raising money the traditional way. So where I kind of ventured into is volunteer. You can still volunteer during this time in case you don't know. That is considered essential, and the Second Harvest Food Bank is doing amazing work. They have hundreds of organizations that they benefit that serve the public directly, and then they also do their own fresh food pantries. So done a little bit of everything. I think to date I've given over 50 hours, but to date
that's awesome.
That's incredible. Yeah.
But to date as a staff, we have done over 200 hours, which is even more incredible. So just a testament to everyone on staff who has just taken it under their wing and really given back and treated them like family. So
quite a testament to both you and the Charlotte Knights as an organization for everything we do. By the way, folks, I don't want to miss this. Kopech has just dealt his second strikeout of the inning. I believe it's his sixth Circle K strikeout of the game. You just saw the instant replay there brought to you by Jersey Mike's. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Still 4-1 game. Knights over the IronPigs. Now, the 200 hours you mentioned, one of the goals of Knights Care for CLT is 500 community service hours. Is that correct?
Yes. So we wanted to not just give back money.
What are some of the other things that we're trying to, other goals that you individually and as well as the Knights want to accomplish with this nonprofit initiative?
So we want to, obviously a lot of our part-time, full-time staff are hurting after this. So we first wanted to give back to our staff and make sure they're taken care of. We also know that there's so many amazing nonprofits, not just Second Harvest, but there's so many that are able to take volunteers right now. So we are going to be giving money to them. And then we also, our frontline workers, so taking care of them. But the part of it was that 500 hours of service, just as a pledge. We've made a big chunk. We've done a good chunk of it so far, but there's still a ways to go.
Absolutely right. Once again, fans, if you want to learn more about Knights Care for CLT, you can go online to charlottenights.com and click on the link that's just right there on our homepage. Once again, those T-shirts are on sale for $20 each. You buy a T-shirt, all the net proceeds will benefit Knights Care for CLT and go directly to all those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, Megan, you've done an awful lot with the team over the last 5 years. We just had our schedule obviously adversely affected by this situation. One of the biggest events of the year would be coming up, not this coming Saturday, but the week after. As you see the DoubleTree Double there on screen, presented by the DoubleTree by Elton Charlotte. where the little things mean everything. You can check out this instant replay by Jersey Mike Subs. And if you were to replay your career, Megan, Pink Knights being one, you see, nice transition there, Nick. I heard you on that. But now
transitions are unparalleled.
Thanks a lot. All right. So I might be doing this a couple more times. But you're obviously some of the best memories we've had really together, or as an organization uptown, has been those Pink Knights games. Do you have any games or events in particular that stick out to you as your favorites since you've joined the Knights?
Do you mean my favorite Pink Knights or just my favorite in general?
Favorite in general. If Pink Knights happens to be one of them, great. If not, whatever comes to mind for you.
There's two. One of my favorite nights of the year is our first Cancer Night. So it's off of Pink Knights. Another event coming up pretty soon. It's where we raise funds. The whole staff gets involved. Nothing like a bit of friendly competition to drive the funds up. But we actually led minor league baseball last year in it, and the year before. And I am a very competitive person, so I was ready to beat them again. But so that's been one of my favorite events. In addition to, I think the most incredible night I've ever had at the ballpark was the Home Run Derby when we hosted the All-Star Game in 2016. I know it's not a typical night game, but the atmosphere of that ballpark was on fire, and I think that will forever go down as one of my favorite nights at BB&T Ballpark.
You're right about that. I was lucky enough to be calling the Home Run Derby that evening, and when I got the call, when Scotty Brown went to his bullpen and picked the righty, I thought, okay, well, that's going to be a lot of stress. But that night was sponsored by Harris Teeter and Tide Plus, our good friends at Procter & Gamble and Harris Teeter teaming up on that one, as well as our friends at Clariant presented that event with us. I do remember that. A lot of nonprofits in play. You probably work with at least 100 different nonprofits throughout the season. And being as competitive as you are, I know you want to get everyone in there. Who are some of the nonprofits who'd be benefiting with us from the Knights Care for CLT initiative? And what are some of the good things that they were doing right now?
So we don't know for sure. We don't know where the money's going yet. But
Gotcha.
A few front runners are Second Harvest, obviously, for the obvious reasons. And then a few ones that I have at least put out there, we don't know if it's going there yet or not, would be Classroom Central. They are providing homework kits to students that are out of school right now and don't have access to paper, pens, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Thompson and A Child's Place, because they are putting a very heavy focus on mental teletherapy. And Nick knows by working on my team that mental health is very important. We have a friend, a Big Green Dragon, that has a whole program based off of it. And I think that this time especially is incredibly important to be supporting those who need support and need extra help. So being able to support them in their teletherapy journey would be really incredible for me to see. I'm trying to think of who else I put on there. Promising Pages, because they provide books to kids who
They're a great one.
Yep, currently live in a book desert, so that's obviously a great thing.
And that teletherapy is really cool. I think that goes hand in hand with our Dragon Strong school show, like you were saying, and how I don't know if people watching caught it, but putting out our different videos and the different things we focus on in that school show on social media to try to help people kind of better cope with what's going on right now with everything, because we see such a need for the mental health. And since the Knights have a program designed just for that for elementary students, it was really cool to take that and turn it into relate to this situation for not only adults and kids and everyone. So that series just wrapped up, but if you didn't catch it, it's on YouTube for Homer the Dragon, and then it's also on all the social media channels for Knights and Homer. So definitely check that out for some awesome mental health videos from the Knights recently.
Yeah.
And once we get back into session and this situation settles as we get closer to regular living, check out homerthedragon.com and, of course, charlotteknights.com to learn more about booking Dragon Strong at your schools. Now, we're looking here at, I think we're on Circle K strikeout number 8 on the evening. Kopech just dealing here. We did miss a stellar sliding play last inning. I would be remiss if I didn't go back and say that was pretty sweet. But I wanted to hear what Megan had to say before going back to the game here. But 5-1 lead, 2 outs now, still in the bottom of the 5th inning. McCutcheon up to bat for the IronPigs. Nick, you are just handling this team. That practice
Trying not to let him back
perfect.
in, but the 3-0 count ain't helping.
Yeah, that Kopech has got a smirk on his face. I think he's feeling a little stingy as well. Now, I know the two of you have only worked together for a little bit of time, and then that dynamic has grown quite a bit, as is our love and appreciation for the Big Green Buddy. We just saw him on screen a little bit ago, but talk to us about the work dynamic between the two of you. I know, Nick, you're quite busy with Homer, going in and out of the office and, trying to coordinate a lot of things off-site just as well as on-site. But how's that work dynamic play with the two of you on a day-to-day basis? With
both of us in the community side, I help book all of Homer's events, make sure he's where he needs to be when, and then I also am in charge of our school programs. And like we just talked about, the Dragon Strong and helping book those. So definitely a lot of time in the office booking all the fun stuff. Unfortunately, Homer gets to go do all the fun stuff.
Right, yeah.
But it's a good time to get, different fun things that we have out in the community and going places. And the Knights aren't just at the ballpark. They're everywhere around Charlotte and Fort Mill and a ton of different areas that mean a lot to the greater Charlotte area. So with Megan being my boss, no, we work really well together. We've got a really good dynamic. And we're able to bounce ideas off each other, and I think it's teamwork at its best. She's a really good listener and is able to, like I said, bounce those ideas and things that we want to do in the community, to kind of book those things as well as have ideas and volunteering and things like that. So I don't know if you've got anything to say about the community or anything like that, Megan, but at least I've enjoyed really working with you a bunch.
No, I think I'm on the same board, and I think we have a unique dynamic because you actually brought this to my attention, but we used to work side by side, and then when I was promoted, it was a different dynamic to go from being lateral to above you, but you are such a great employee.
You were perfect.
And you do such great work, and it's easy to be able to work with someone or be on a team with somebody who cares so much, and that's really all I want from an employee, someone who cares and someone who wants to give back, and clear and it's evident in your work. So we make a good team.
I think we enjoy what we do, and that's key. And even like right now, you know what, there's no baseball. It's sad. We wish that we were at games right now, and I'm sure the fans do too. So we're trying to provide as close as we can to a real baseball game and give it different elements, like bringing different people in from the staff and stuff like that. And, entertainment coordinator, and hopefully this is entertaining for folks because we're just trying to provide fun in different and new ways, because that's the situation, kind of the hand we're dealt. And so if it's playing a video game and being the Knights and hopefully beating up on the IronPigs a little bit and getting some cool interviews, we hope everybody's enjoying watching, because like you said, Megan, we care about what we do, and we hope that people enjoy the product we put out there for them. Even if there's a bunch of double plays.
It's okay if you've got a 5-1 lead and you hit into a double play every now and again. It's in those moments that you don't want a double play that we have to avoid those. But Knights are still up 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. And once again, folks, we've been talking about it pretty much all broadcasts, but Knights Care for CLT. Head to charlotteknights.com to learn how you can participate, learn what the Charlotte Knights are doing to help those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. $20 a t-shirt, net proceeds benefiting Knights Care for CLT. Get one. It's a wonderful cause. There are a lot of people out there who need our help, who need our assistance. charlotteknights.com is where you got to go and learn more. Now, to follow up on our answer from tonight's Salen's Grill Session question, on this day in 1904, this Boston Americans pitcher struck out 8 batters, recording the first perfect game of baseball's modern era, later becoming the namesake of an award honoring the best pitcher in each league. That, of course, was Cy Young. The Cy Young Award is the recognition of the best pitcher in both the American and National League. The winner this evening is Chris Bird. Chris Bird, thank you so much for joining us. Not only answering tonight's Salen's Grill Session question, you'll be the recipient of a mystery bobblehead from the Charlotte Knights. So be sure to follow up with us. Slide into our DMs, as the kids say. And it doesn't really apply on Facebook Live, does it? Just get into our messages, that blue speech bubble thing, and then we'll get you a bobblehead here later on. Thanks once again for joining our broadcast. Kopech, I noticed, is still in the game. It is the 6th inning, though, so we're right on the bubble here.
Yeah,
Nick, are you feeling confident with your boy?
We got burnt last time, but hoping to last them through the 6th, and then we'll throw somebody in the pen and get somebody else in the 7th, because we know this game does not like starting pitchers in the 7th inning.
You're right about that. We had a nice pitch counter in last inning, but he threw pitch number 70 to get the final out. I mean, he's been doing a nice job all night long. We've just got our first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nick Williams, our country singer, once get out, or one of several.
I think that was Luke Williams. We got a couple.
Yeah, we got a couple
on this team.
Yeah, we've got a band. Maybe this guy plays a little bass or something like that. But now, both of you are being heavily involved in the community, heavily involved with nonprofits, working with organizations around Charlotte. Obviously, now we are in a time of need. What's some advice that you can give to our listeners and our fans who want to get involved right now, but maybe don't know how to get involved? What would your advice be to them?
I would say do what you're comfortable with. Don't go out of your comfort zone. But like I mentioned before, lots of places are still accepting volunteers. So if you feel that drive and you feel that need to go get your hands dirty, so do something. There's lots of places that will take you right now because they are hurting. And then obviously giving financially is an option. But again, do what you're comfortable with. Even something as simple as reaching out to a neighbor or writing a letter to somebody that is stuck at home and can't leave right now, that goes a long way. Sometimes it's the little things that matter the most.
Yeah, definitely what comes to my mind comes from our school show, and kind of the breakdown of what we go through there to teach the kids how to deal with, difficult times. And that's supporting others, supporting friends around you, and being that support for those around you. Having mental toughness and knowing that you can overcome, believing in yourself, surrounding yourself with positive relationships and people you can rely on and talk to. And then, being optimistic, doing things that you enjoy doing, and most of all, just setting goals and striving to achieve things. Because when you are striving for things and you reach, those goals or have success in that area, it just gets you hungry to keep going. And so I think all of those areas is key in this time. And it's cool that we get to share that with young students in this area and how it also relates to right now. And I'm going to stay optimistic, even though they dove and caught that out. It's okay. Thanks to Jersey Mike's here for the replay.
Optimism is in Dragon Strong, so I'm glad to see that you're taking those lessons to heart with you. Fantastic play by the IronPigs there, but optimism, I would say, is probably my number one thing. I mean, sometimes you get interwoven in a lot of different paths to what you hope are going to be successful conversations, meetings. I'm sure everyone's maybe not sick and tired of Zoom conference calls, but you might be a little tired of them. They might have run their course at this point, but a lot of people are going through the exact same thing. You are the exact same thing we are. So it's in times like these that we have to understand, and I think how empathy plays such a big role in what we do and understanding how to be there for one another. As you said before, Nick, as you eloquently put it about Megan, being a great listener goes such a long way. And I think it's in those moments when you feel that you're by yourself that maybe you need listeners more than ever. So it's times like these when, even though the three of us are on a broadcast, we've got Chase Christensen off screen handling the production of this one. But
double dabbing, by the way.
Double dabbing. Double dabbing. I'm glad I don't get to see the double dabbing, but I just know it's there. We've got quite a few of those clips of the ballpark if you want to see what a good double dab is. But it's just nice to interact with people and be a part of something just fun like this to let go. I mean, we're having fun, but we're also getting good information out there. We're, nice evening. We are heading now to the 7th inning stretch brought to you by Ortho Carolina. I want to thank my guest, Megan Smithers, our director of communication, community relations, for joining us this evening. Really appreciate the time you've given us this evening. And is there anything else you'd like to say to our fans here?
No, keep cheering Nick on. He's bringing home a win, hopefully tonight. And thanks everyone for what you've done to help support our Knights Care for CLT fund, and hope to see you at the ballpark soon.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Megan. We will talk to you again soon. I'm sure we've got 20 more meetings this week. So thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Well, once again, folks, thanks again to Megan Smithers for joining us, the Director of Community Relations. You can find her on a variety of channels. But now let's see you get up and stretch and sing along with us in the 7th inning stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, so we root for the Charlotte Knights. If they don't win, it's a shame. Count it with me. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Come on, Knights, let's get another W. Touching hands.
Indeed is what we need. Nick Farmer, entertainment coordinator of the Charlotte Knights, stretching on his couch. You see an infamous Charlotte Knights flag on his couch behind him. We are in the bottom of the 7th. Teheran Guerrero taking the mound now as the Knights get a call to the bullpen. 5-1 lead over the Lehigh Valley IronPigs here in Iron Horse Stadium. Beautiful backdrop of solid black behind lights. It's not quite like BBT Ballpark, folks, but hey, it's baseball. I'm super excited to have it. You can see the.
How about those trucks though out in right field?
I've been making the truck horn signal with my arm to see if they'd see me or not, but it hasn't been working. So, but they're out there. If you can get a home run into one of those trucks, maybe you win a steak or something like that.
I'll do my best.
Different ballpark. It looks like nice pitch from Teheran Guerrero. Circle K strikeout. I believe that's number 10 or 11 at this point as the Knights continue to deal. That's the one thing if you're watching Nick play MLB The Show, folks. He's going to rack up hits. He's going to pile on the strikeouts. He's going to score.
Can't guarantee the runs, but we're going to get lots of hits. Lots of strikeouts, but maybe not a lot of runs.
Just the pitcher's best friend thing, the 6-4-3 double play that plagued
really
us last time. It's not quite has not quite been a factor of this game. But yeah, you've been playing excellently this evening.
Strike
feeling the second strikeout of the inning for Guerrero. I'm going to say number 12 on the evening for the Knights as Circle K presenting all strikeouts here this evening. International eLeague Series Week 2. We're playing Lehigh Valley IronPigs. Our next matchup is going to be next week against the Louisville Bats. You can catch the second game of our current series tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as we play a live member.
Yeah, against a Lehigh Valley office member.
So, Nick, I don't know if we're going to be able to loop that guy in, but let the smack talk commence. And speaking of smack, Guerrero has just taken the IronPigs to task this inning. 3 strikeouts, nearly an immaculate inning, but not almost. Tarias goes down swinging. The Knights cruise to the top of the 8th inning with a 5-1 lead. Knights pitching coming through here this evening in Iron Horse Stadium. Laz Rivera up now. He's 1 for 3. Rivera had a strong showing He's just joining the Charlotte Knights roster in 2020. He's been at shortstop both games. There's a base hit up the middle. He's got 5 hits since you started using him. I think you've got a pretty solid hitter there. He's batting 9th tonight. I want to say he was batting 8th or 9th in our last game. You see this Jersey Mike's instant replay. That grounder just up the middle. Stock tried to field it with his glove, but he just couldn't get down enough to scoop it up and throw it to first for the out. That pop-up to center field is going to be the first out of the inning. Rivera's going to stick around at first. I feel like I haven't been calling a lot of the baseball game here. I've just been kind of watching it while talking with JJ and Megan. It's been Odubel Herrera. Yeah. You're going to notice a lot of former and current Major League players on this squad, but Odubel Herrera there in center field making that last pop-up catch. That ball swung on and driven to left center. That's going to drop for a base hit. That could be 2.
We're going 3. We're going 3.
Oh, it could be. Oh, it could be a triple. I was going to say the double tree by Hilton Charlotte, but we are in there for 3. He's almost home, folks. We can take a look at that again. What a smack. Presented to you by Jersey Mike Subs, as always. That's just going off the wall. He's got a lot of wheels. And to see him rounding second to go to third, a little bit surprising on the speed front. You really don't expect him to go that fast. Great slide. Having the wherewithal to go with the right hand and kind of swing around there to anticipate the tag. A triple to give Knight a runner in scoring position. That's right. Victor Arano in now for the IronPigs. He's got a 1-0 record in 2019. Pitching 4 2/3 is a 3.06 ERA. Let's see if he can stop the onslaught as the Knights have a 6-1 lead here in the top of the 8th inning. That ball swung on and driven right to the second baseman. He's going to make the quick play to first for the out, the second out of the inning. That will score one more, however, and it's 7-1.
Get some insurance here in the late innings. We like it. We like it.
At this point, they're just wanting to get quick outs and get out of the inning. You are not letting up, though. I'm proud of you, big guy. I am proud of you. That brings up Palka. He's got a 1 for 4 tonight. Single back in the first. Homer the Dragon dancing along as you have seen him all night. Swung on the first pitch. That's going to just get caught.
Oh, my gosh.
Diving catch by the left fielder, Kyle Garlick. Holy smokes. Check this one out, folks. Great read on the ball. That's going to end the inning.
Calm, collected.
Excellent camera work by MLB The Show production crew here. That was outstanding. The guy is stoic all throughout, not even breathing, it looks like.
I don't even think he blinked.
Just a mannequin grabbing the ball and just saying, gimme. The Knights are limited to just 2 in that inning, but it's a 7-1 lead as we begin now in the bottom of the 8th. If you like Michael Kopech and the velocity he's got on his fastballs, check out Teheran Guerrero. 100 miles an hour, 102 as he's hit these last 2 pitches. If his control is in line, it's hard for any of these hitters to catch up with him. That ball going deep to right field, warning track power, but cannot get the hit. Gorgeous Hernandez makes the play, and that is out number 1. That brings McCutchen back to the plate.
That's a lot of red in his box.
You're right about that. McCutchen, a former National League Most Valuable Player. Batting with the IronPigs now, he takes that ball outside. $7,809 in attendance here at Iron Horse Stadium, presumably following social distancing rules. No distancing between the first baseman and that line drive catch for out number 2. McCutchen can't believe it. Talk about bad luck. But that brings Austin Listy to the plate. 2 outs here at the bottom of the 8th. 78-09 watching this one as the Knights pile on against the IronPigs. It is late in the game, you never know it, but that looks to be a double down the right field line. putting Listy on second, and at least a runner in scoring position now for the IronPigs. You take another look at this one, courtesy of Jersey Mike's subs. Just down the line, did not have to put a lot of power on it, but letting it bounce off the wall. As you can see, the right field line, 336 feet deep here in the Iron Horse. That ball's outside for ball one. Luke Williams up now. He's 0 for 3 tonight, a victim of the strong pitching exhibited by the Charlotte Knights staff. Swung on and missed on that one. The count evens at 1 apiece. The check swing. Pretty good eye there. That ball finishing high. The count 2-1 now.
Oh, no.
That ball going up the middle. It looks like the defense is going to pick it up, though. Throwing to first, just cannot make the play in time, and we've got runners on the corners. IronPigs threatening here in the bottom of the 8th. If they score one here, you still have a 5-run lead. I just want to remind you, you're like biting your nails, but we're not talking about anything imminent here. Just
hey, 1 turns into 2, turns into 3. We got to keep it tight here. We got to lock this down, bring Alex McRae out of the pen.
I'm just putting you on these, Big Daddy, just trying to calm me down. Alex McRae is entering the game at this point. He induced a lot of ground ball outs in his last outing in the International eLeague Series. That ball finishing down and a little bit inside for strike 1. That ball hit foul behind the third base line. Count evens now at 0-2. He switches.
See if we get him swinging at a curveball.
He switches over to that softly hit grounder going to the second baseman. He's in to make the play at first for the out, and that will end the threat. The IronPigs kept off the board in the 8th inning. We go down to the 9th. Nick and the Knights firmly in control, 7-1. Doing the Carlton along with our buddy Homer the Dragon. A.J. Reed to lead off for the Knights. Top of the 9th inning. He's 0 for 4, lined out in his last at bat back in the 7th inning. Reed had a brief stint with the Knights in 2019 before a call-up to the Major League squad. He was designated for this assignment previously, hitting a pop-up there to the center fielder Herrera. Caught for out number 1. Rejoined the Knights late in the season after being optioned following an activation off of the injured list. He'll probably join us again in 2020. Here's Delmonico with 1 out. Delmonico's had quite a few good memories with Charlotte Knights baseball dating back to 2017. He, in fact, made his debut with the Knights the same game as Yoan Moncada and Reynaldo Lopez, 2 of the team's top prospects. There's a base hit for Delmonico between the right fielder and center fielder. That could be 2. No time to be conservative now, Nick. Come on. There we go. A double-tree double. Presented by the Doubletree by Hilton Charlotte, the official host hotel of the Charlotte Knights, where the little things mean everything.
That's his 3rd double of the game.
He has been killing
3 doubles, 2 singles. We'll take it.
If we have a star of the game announcement later on, I believe he could be a front runner. You're right about that. That one just hit with ease into the gap in right center. That brings Joel Booker to the plate. He lays down the bunt, down the third base line, He goes to first, just misses getting to the plate before the out is made.
Ooh, coach doesn't like it. Bunting up with a lead. He's not happy.
You almost had that bunt single. That was a very well placed bunt in my opinion, getting the runner over the third, but just falling short. Hey, you got another guy ready to score though. That's pretty good. Matt Skoll up to the plate now, ready to make this one 8-1 if he can. He's got the power to do it. Swing this game after the disappointment we had in our last one. I mean, you really just missed it by a hair. What did you want to do differently this time around? Specifically, with Kopech and some of these other players, that ball hit into center field. Herrera's there for the out.
Yeah, a big key was take Kopech out before the 7th because we know the game doesn't like
right.
that. And letting up runs, just being smart. Because the last game I had 16 hits I think the other team only had like 5 or 6, and they had like 5 runs. It was all home runs. I let up 2 home runs, and that was like the only time runs were scored was 2 bad pitches. And so just trying to locate pitches a little bit better, and then just try to string hits together. There's a lot of, get a hit, get somebody on, and then fly out double play, or a lot of ground outs with 2 outs, things like that. So when you get guys in scoring position, being a little more patient at the plate and seeing if you can get them across. So it's worked thus far. We'll see if it works tomorrow night when we're playing against the front office member at Lehigh. We'll see what he's got. I'm looking forward to it, no doubt.
If you get easy ground balls to the first baseman read like that just now, I think you're going to be made in the shade. The defense has improved. I think the pitching has always been there, but you're right. It was that 3-run home run from Mancini in the first. He had another solo home run later on in the game. That was in the 7th inning, which was really the dagger that killed Dracula, so to speak. But I think overall the play has just been tremendous. I think they're in big trouble tomorrow night, brother.
Not going to make any promises, but tonight's a little more encouraging going into the next game than the last one was, that's for sure.
The only one who should be sweating right now, wiping his brow, is McRae, as you just saw on screen. So definitely don't worry about that. That ball hit over the shortstop's head for a base hit. The IronPigs getting a man on here in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 out.
We just need a ground ball.
You're right about that. A pitcher's best friend could help this one. You can see the Jersey Mike's instant replay. Gruyan just smacking that ball. Again, not a lot of power, just needed to get enough lift on that ball to get it into left center. Get on base and try to start something from the IronPigs, who have just looked futile thus far.
In Iron Horse Stadium. You don't expect that from them.
You're right. I guess virtual home field. I don't know. We're talking about daggers. Here's Kyle Garlick now. Kind of ironic. But that ball hit to the wall. We talk about home runs not being a problem. There was a 2-run shot just making it over the left field wall. And this game is now 7-3 with the 2-run shot from Garlick.
Oh, he's not pleased. That guy is not happy.
I've got no more vampire or Dracula puns to offer you after that one. That's just sad. Every time I talk about something, try to have a little bit of fun, this kind of thing happens. Jersey Mike's here. You can see him just right over the meat of the plate.
Oh, man.
That's on me. You can't see me on the video, but that was on me for sure. 368 feet. Every time it's my fault? 368 feet on that home run.
Let's get the closer in and end this thing quick. What do you say?
I'm with that. Jose Ruiz coming in now for the Knights. Had an up and down 2019 season, pretty strong overall. 35 strikeouts and 24 walks, as you just saw. He's going to face Tarias here. He's 1 for 4 on the evening himself. Ruiz is another guy who's got some high velocity stuff. That ball is a base hit into center field. So if you're trying to run it in and stop the runner at first, throws the relay into Rivera. Now, I know you and I have talked quite a bit about Knights games, and as you're helping out, Homer and a number of different things going on throughout the ballpark, you might not have a chance to watch. There's another base hit down the right field line. Hernandez is there to try to make a play back into the infield. The runner's on the corners now for the IronPigs. With McCutchen, the former National League MVP, at the plate. See, outside of this memory that could be, that ball is hit just foul down the third base line. What have been some of your best or favorite memories in your limited time with the Knights thus far, dating back to really, I guess, just before opening day?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a 4th of July game. Those are a blast, having the ballpark packed and the energy that comes with that holiday and the fireworks afterwards. And then we had a decent amount of walk-offs at home, which were a lot of fun to be a part of, and the excitement that brings for the fans and the players. And but those sellout crowds are really special. Being able to entertain, that many people in the ballpark and put on a good show with everything we've got planned in between innings and things like that.
Absolutely. It's not a sellout crowd here in the Iron Horse. 7,809 fans in attendance on this one. But you're right. I think July 4th was our biggest July 4th ever. We had our biggest Thirsty Thursday ever. McCutcheon puts that ball high and deep. I can not believe it.
Wow.
I think I need to stop talking here because Andrew McCutcheon, for those of you just joining us or if you just turned away to sip on a beverage, if you wanted to do so, McCutcheon hitting a 3-run home run over the left center field wall, and it is now 7-6. Knights over the IronPigs. I got to stop distracting you. That's what probably is boiling down to at this point. Listy up to bat now for the IronPigs. Ruiz on the mound, still throwing some heat.
All right, there's
Ball
one.
Swung on and missed. There you go. That strikeout, I believe, number 13 or 14 on the night, courtesy of Circle K. If you haven't been to a ball game, check out the Circle K Corner Club just down the right field line next to the Piedmont Natural Gas picnic area. You can learn more about that venue and all the others on charlottenights.com. And speaking of venues, we're going into the winner's circle, folks, because it is a W at the Iron Horse. Great play by Laz Rivera deep in shortstop territory to make the throw to first for the out. Dare I say Jeter-esque. Rivera impressing with not only his bat but his defense in these past couple of games with the Knights. Your final score, there were 2 home runs coming up here in the 9th inning.
Scary home
A
runs.
3-run shot from McCutcheon there, as you just saw, to make it 7-6, but that would be the final score. Kopech hangs on to get the victory this evening. The IronPigs are stunned. Late rally from the IronPigs just wasn't enough. 5 in the 9th.
5 in the 9th.
But Nick leads the Knights, and Jose Ruiz holds on to get the win in this one. We're going to check a recap of tonight's game, courtesy of our friends at Carolina Premium and Corona. You can see there in the top of the second that single to right field turns into a run. Coming off of the leg there, Madrigal scoring. Batter. Davey Grullon grounds one to left for a single here in the bottom of the second to give the IronPigs their first run of the game. Grullon was the most productive batter in the lineup, dare I say, until McCutcheon came along and hit his 3-run home run. You see here, top of the 5th, Skoll lining one to left for a single, making it 5-1 Knights. Let's fast forward. Let's talk about Michael Kopech here. A lot of hits, a lot of runs scored for the Knights, but Kopech in charge. You see that fastball striking out Nick Williams, but all night long, Kopech has been in control. 6 very strong innings from him. A.J. Reed lines one out to center field here in top of the 7th. You can notice the diving play from Odubel Herrera. Just a fantastic read on that pitch. You see a lot more plays like that one. Here's maybe one of the more surprising ones of the game. Zach Collins with a triple, an RBI triple to the left field wall. You got a really awkward bounce on this one. He makes a great play scooping it up, though, but Collins showing a speed that we have not seen in quite some time from him. Great heads-up play on that slide, though, being able to swing his body around and avoid the potential tag. A triple for Collins. I'll take it when we can get it. You'll see here a lot of strongly hit balls from the Knights here this evening as Polka lines out here. Another great play on defense from the IronPigs. 2 great diving plays. And now here's where the trouble hits. Bottom of the 9th. Garlick homering just over the wall. 2-run shot, 368 feet. You see the wall there's 366. And then the big one, putting a couple of sweat tears falling off of Nick Farmer's brow. A 3-run shot into the lights. Left center field. The former National League MVP making it 7-6 with a 407-foot shot to score 3. But to end the game, Laz Rivera deep in shortstop territory on the run, turning his body to try to make the throw in motion, gets the ball over to Reed for the out at first, and that'll do it. 7-6 your final score. Tonight's Morning Star Storage star of the game, none other than Nicky Delmonico, 5 for 5, as Nick mentioned before, 3 doubles on the evening, 2 singles. What a performance from him. The Knights in general, you can see 19 hits piling on with this one to score 7 across those 9 frames. But Delmonico, 5 for 5, your Morningstar Storage star of the game. You see Zach Collins going 2 for 5 with a triple, 2 RBI and a run scored. Madrigal, top prospect in the White Sox organization, 3 for 5. Skoll going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run himself. Mike Kopech getting the win with 6 very strong innings. A nice line there. He's got 9 strikeouts over 6 frames with just 1 earned run. Damage done to him, as you saw earlier from the Grullon RBI single, only 1 walk compared to 9 strikeouts. Aniel de los Santos taking the loss, going only 4 2/3, giving up 5 earned runs on 13 hits, as we saw Nick just piling on the singles very early on. No long balls for you tonight, Nick, but your strategy early on in the game was working, keeping the pitching tight, the defense tight, just playing some small ball.
That's it. Just trying to pile the hits together and score some runs, limit the damage in late innings, which close call tonight. But just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you guys trying to provide some baseball and some fun for you while we don't have it. So hopefully you enjoyed watching. And tomorrow night, as we face off against an employee from Lehigh Valley, tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We'd love to see you. I got some more baseball for you. Hopefully I can bring home the W for the Knights. But thanks everybody for tuning in.
Who do we have on the mound for the Knights tomorrow night?
Ooh, we might throw that on Twitter. We'll see. But yeah, we've got the White Sox playing tomorrow against the Phillies.
Oh, that's correct. That's correct.
So
that's correct.
We'll see. We might throw Keuchel out there or Giolito after his good performance in the show. Also, Dylan Cease, Homer played against him a few weeks ago on MLB The Show. So we've got some options here. We might even find somebody else to start. But excited to see what happens. And tomorrow night, 7 p.m., everybody.
If you haven't checked out that game with Homer against Dylan Cease, we have a Twitch account at Charlotte Knights Baseball. You can go check that out. You can also catch a recap of that game on Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms. Stick with us on Knights social media channels. You can see the links up top at Charlotte Knights Baseball on Facebook and Discord, at Knights Baseball on Twitter and Instagram. You're watching us right now on Facebook Live. Pay attention throughout the course of the day tomorrow. For that poll, you can help us decide who tomorrow night's starter will be from the Chicago White Sox squad. Again, we will be playing the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, as Nick, as he said, goes against a member of the Lehigh Valley IronPigs front office. We are going to crush them. So watch us live as this happens right here on Facebook Live. We'll be following up with you tomorrow night on the schedule for next week, as well as we play the Louisville Bats. Thanks to Nick Farmer, entertainment coordinator from the Charlotte Knights, putting on a show for us this evening. 7-6, your final score. We want to thank all of our sponsors for helping us put on tonight's game and put on every game at BB&T Ballpark. Charlotte Knights Baseball could not do it without you, quite simply. I want to thank Chase Christensen handling the production here in Uptown Charlotte. I'm David Ruckman at Ruckmania on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us anytime on social media at Knights Baseball. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.